to Passions Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the soap opera passions. I'm your regular host, LeTara, back today with Shane. Welcome back, Shane. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well and so very happy to be back in the world of passions.
We are glad to have you back on the show to talk about episodes 876 through 880 of Passions. Like, we're almost to 900, which I thought about that this morning. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how much of this show I've watched. And I actually went back and watched like a couple of old clips from old episodes of the podcast, like when Laura was on and stuff, and I got really like nostalgic, and I was like, man, I can't believe I've been doing this for so long, and I'm kind of proud of myself for continuing to do it. As
you should be, and cultivated this wonderful community.
Yeah, and I love the community, so yeah, I don't know, I've been in a grateful mood about this show lately, tonight, I guess, today. So with that said, before we get into the episodes, I want to say a shout out to all the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to Munashe, Lisa S, Zach, Sid, Sarana, Randall, Hannah, Camelia, Jeanette, Eric, Jamie, Fantasia, Sean S, Larissa, Maria, Lisa A, Jessica Jean, Laura, Karen, Uche, Paige, Casey, Garange, Tom Bergeron, Daisy, Shane, who's here with us today, Kelly C, Taylor Harris Crane, DJ, Kelly M, Lisa R, Acacia, Natalie, and our almighty Crane, Andrew. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being patrons, and we've been having a good time on the watch parties. So if you haven't joined a watch party, please come and join us and hang out with us. We usually are on either on Monday nights or Thursday nights. Check the Patreon to see what the dates are. I'm going to put out the new dates for November and December soon, probably this week sometime. So but we are having a Halloween party on the 30th. So, and if you're listening to this when it comes out, it will on the regular stream. Like if you're not on the Patreon, you will have missed it. So, because this episode is going to come out on the 29th. But if you're a Patreon and you're hearing this, please join us for the Halloween party. And please wear a costume if you like. You don't have to. I have my costume figured out. I had some ideas. I'm not a person that goes out and like buys things because I already have so much shit. And so I was like, what can I do? And it's a secret. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is right now, but I'm very excited for my costume. But I will say, it's not going to be Beth. I had said something on the Discord about Beth because I was going through my wigs and I found my Luis wig from last year that I wore. And if you turn it around, it looks just like Beth's haircut.
It does. It does.
It looks just like Beth's haircut, but I'm not going to be doing Beth. I have decided on something else. So hopefully you all show up to find out what it is. And I would love to see everybody else in costumes. We're going to play games. We're going to have a good time. So with that, on with the show, really big show. We're talking about episodes 876 through 880. Yes, Shane?
That is correct.
Okay, great. The 880 was cut. Like there was, I guess it got preempted. So there's about 10 minutes of dialogue that were missing from the episode that I could not find a video of. However, the transcripts came through. So shout out to Maria for putting me onto the transcripts, because we still have the dialogue from the transcript, and Shane and I at some point will be doing dramatic readings again, which I love that we're like forced to do it this time, but I just like love that the last time we did it, it was you and me too. Like the last time I did a dramatic reading, like, so I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to start with Shawise, y'all. I know how much everybody loves this storyline. I know how much everybody don't you just love this storyline? So actually, before we get into this, let's start with some good news. Fox has made an appearance. He's like basically made it to Harmony, I guess.
He debuted, yes.
Yes, so we finally see Fox for the first time. I didn't clip him. I would have, but I didn't clip him because he wasn't doing anything. There was nothing happening. There was nothing interesting. He was playing poker and losing badly.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically give us the understanding that he and his family aren't close. They haven't sent him anything for Christmas in years. He's like, yeah, this was a Christmas gift to myself. My parents have never sent me anything. Like, at one point he bets his cufflinks, I guess, and he's like, they're basically family heirlooms. And the dealer's like, oh, well, I'm sure you'll be sad to see those go. And he's like, no, not really. Like, if you knew my family, you'd understand. And so,
and we do. So we do. We understand completely.
Exactly. So they have introduced Fox, and they're letting us know Fox is coming in to stir up some shit because he and his family are not on good terms. So with that, we're going into Sheridan and Luis. I just wanted to make note. I put it at the top of my notes. Fox
I know,
finally here.
He didn't fit into any other category. So yeah, I just had a whole separate page and was like, Fox plays poker.
Well, they couldn't introduce him at the wedding because it would be too dramatic of a reveal. It would take away from what's actually happening at the wedding. It either would take away from what's happening at the wedding, or it wouldn't be his introduction would be overshadowed by the wedding, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's talk about Sheridan and Luis. Womp womp. This is it's a real stinker of a storyline. I'm telling y'all, I am over it. I am completely over this storyline. Completely over it. So we pick up in the first episode where Sheridan, Luis, Antonio, and Beth are, and I shouldn't have said it in that order, but whatever. They are having their wedding rehearsal, which I was confused. I was like, don't you do this like the day before your wedding? Are they getting married tomorrow? There's a lot of confusion around the timeline because they do at one point like say tomorrow, but then later on Beth is like, I can't believe we're getting married in a few days. So this is not, their wedding's not tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. At one time Maria was like, yeah, in the Passion's time warp, it's like some people are in one time and other people are in a different time. So not every scene is happening in the same day necessarily. And I was like, okay, that gets confusing. But I have to assume that's what's happening here. But anyway,
it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, that like this just was outside of the timeline that's happening, I guess. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense either way, but whatever.
Tabitha's manipulated it too much.
Wait, say that again?
I said Tabitha has manipulated the timeline too much, so it's all out of order.
Yeah, the timeline is sick at this point. It's like falling apart because Tabitha has done too much work on it. So, yeah, they're at this wedding rehearsal and it's a disaster. It's a mess. I mean, it's just, well, not a disaster. It's just an extremely somber occasion.
The wedding party skipped the rehearsal. Not one of them was there.
Yeah, it was like we spent like 10 minutes just explaining why no one was there for it. Like, oh, Gwen is too busy with whatever. I think Miguel is supposed to be Antonio's best man. He's like, well, he's busy right now. He had to take Charity to her doctor's appointment. Why not? Well, whatever. I don't know why he's taking her to her doctor's appointment. Grace or Sam should be doing that. Like, they're her guardian. Although I guess she's 18 now, but still.
They had Hank.
Hank was there.
Shows up later.
Hank was there, which I guess Hank is Luis's best man.
I think so.
That's what makes sense to me. So I'm gonna go with that. You know, like I said, it's a somber occasion. They're Father Lonigan starts talking about, oh, I need you all to come up to the altar, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, Sheridan and Luis, you've been through this before, so you know where to stand. Why would he say that? And then I think it's Beth that covers saying, oh, because Antonio's like, why would you say that? What do you mean they've been through this before? What do you mean they know what? And like, at this point, Antonio, get a fucking clue. But Everybody lies to him in this church. And Father Lonigan just lets it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You would think as a priest, he would be a little more stern about the lying that happens in his sanctuary.
But it came down to either they have to lie or he has to lie. So since he didn't have to, I guess it's okay.
I guess it's okay. He'll let them lie for him,
Mm-hmm.
his proxy liars. So, yeah, I think Beth says, sorry. I think Beth says something to the effect of like, oh, Father Lonigan's just talking about when you and Luis were choir boys, or not
Yes.
choir boys, altar boys.
Mm-hmm.
And you must have worked 100 weddings here in this chapel. So of course Luis knows where to stand. Okay. And Antonio says, okay, I guess that explains Luis, but why would he say that about Sheridan? And then I don't know who says it. I don't care. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, y'all. I've lost patience with this storyline. I really have. But somebody is like, oh, Sheridan's been to plenty of weddings here. Like, oh my God.
I think it's Beth. Like Beth is the one that steps up and does the line so Father Lonigan doesn't have to.
Yeah, yes. So Antonio accepts this nonsense, this silliness. Especially what bothered me is that Father Lonigan says, Sheridan and Luis, you know where to stand. You've already been through this before. Antonio hears the lie that it's about Luis and him being altar boys. And so why wouldn't he say, well, why wouldn't Father Lonigan say, we all know where to stand and we've all been, like Beth has been to weddings at the church and Luis and I both were altar boys. So why wouldn't he say, you all know where to stand. You've been through this, but I'm harping on an unimportant detail, and I'm sorry. It's just something that some of those little things really annoy me.
So it annoyed me because while we're at Father Lonigan, Hank let him in, and part of me was like, since when does that man need a guide? He has wandered around Harmony outside the church, approached people, and been like, "Hey, is that you?"
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like, Father, let me show you to the rectory. What do you mean? This is his church.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't need your help. So anyway, later on, because again, Father Lonigan is blind, but he can feel the tension. He can feel the uneasiness in the air. And he pulls Sheridan to the side and he's like, Sheridan, can I speak to you for a moment? And then he's like, and tell Luis too, right? And so Luis Luis and Sheridan have a conversation with Father Lonigan, wherein he tells them, like, I know that you two are the ones who really love each other. And he's like, I don't know that I can perform this ceremony because this is not truthful. Okay, sure, Father Lonigan, I have this clip. So let's watch the clip. We'll roll the clip.
Sheridan, may I have a word with you, please?
Yes, of course.
And Luis.
So sneaky. And Luis.
He's the sneakiest one.
He is.
I'm sorry for the slip and fall.
It's okay, Father.
Don't worry about it. I still can't get used to the fact that you two aren't the ones getting married. I know you told me that you really love Antonio and that you want to marry him, but are you telling the truth, Sheridan? And if you aren't, this wedding is wrong, a fraud, and I cannot be a party to it. I will not perform the ceremony. The church teaches truth and honesty. I've known the two of you for a very long time now. Are you sure that you are true to yourselves, your love, and this church?
I don't want to lie to you, Father.
We've made our decision. And no disrespect to you, Father, or to the church. Sheridan has decided to marry Antonio, and I've decided to marry Beth. So let's get this rehearsal started so we can get to that engagement party on time, huh? You can lie to me, Sheridan, but not to God. He knows what's in your heart.
God wanted me to marry Luis. He would cure Antonio.
Sheridan?
I'm right here.
Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
There's that. First of all, you can lie to me, Sheridan, but not to God. Crack.
Well, it cracked me up too, because I was like, why is it all directed to her? Luis is lying too.
Yeah, right. Like, Luis is lying, but also you are too, Father Lonigan. You are lying. can lie to me, Sheridan, but not to God. Well, you're lying directly to, aren't you the direct line to God? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was so funny. But Luis I'm at the point where pretty much everybody in this storyline is getting on my nerves, right? Like
Yes.
for a while I was like, I'm sympathizing with Luis. I also understand somewhat where Sheridan's coming from. And like, you know, Beth is just taking what she can get at this point. And, you know, and Antonio's annoying, but he doesn't know what's going on. Nobody's telling him what's going on, right? I am now at the point where like Luis should just put a stop to this, right? Like you are so hung up on Sheridan that you are ready to marry Beth. Just honestly, it's starting to feel like just to spite Sheridan, right? Like he's saying, oh, I've always wanted to be married, and I can't marry you if you marry my brother, and this and that. But you don't have to marry Beth right now, right? In the same ceremony as Sheridan and Antonio together. You could put your foot down. And Luis has historically been very stubborn about, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do what I don't want to do, right?
Yeah.
And so it bothers me that he's really going through with this and going along with this. Because Luis, in my opinion, of all the men in Harmony on this show, Luis is probably the best of them. Him and Chad, I feel like, are like the two that are the most honest, typically, at least up to this point, the most honest, really want to try to do the right thing all the time. And right now, I think this is just so ridiculous. He's clearly miserable. Look at him. He's miserable. We've made up our minds, Father. Frankly, it's not your business. We've already made up our minds. We've made our decisions on this. If he really wanted to marry Beth, he would say like, no, Father, you're wrong. I do love Beth. I do want to be with her. You know, Sheridan and I are done and over with. I want to be with Beth, but that's not what he's saying. He's just saying, yeah, let's get this over with. Let's get this over with.
And like you said, she accepts whatever she can get. So it's really kind of sad.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. And I really do. I really feel for Beth. I really feel for Beth. Beth is the only person in this situation at this point that I'm really like, you know what? I kind of feel sorry for you. Again, based on what I know about her childhood now, I'm like looping that into my understanding of who Beth is and why Beth acts the way she acts and why she's okay with this, right? So that'll change. Obviously, my sympathy for Beth will change, but but for now, she's she's doing all right. I'm not too upset with her. So anyway,
she's the most sympathetic one right now in the storyline.
Yeah, even though they don't write it that way, they write it as if Sheridan is the most sympathetic one, and Sheridan is probably the person I have the least sympathy for. I'm sorry, Sheridan is probably the person I have the least sympathy for right now because you don't have to do this. She and Luis are kind of neck and neck for like both of you are just like, and maybe that's what they're trying to show us, that they're both just so stubborn. They're two stubborn people or what have you, but they're both just doing something that they simply don't have to do and putting themselves and honestly everybody else in town in the most uncomfortable and awkward positions. Just because for Sheridan, because she's like worried that Antonio will die, but Antonio is dying.
So they say.
Dying. Exactly. So they say. Allegedly.
He's had plenty of shocks, which I know you guys have said on this podcast before. The man can be shocked. He'll be fine. He'll recover.
He will, or he won't. He was going to die regardless. He was going to die regardless. And so whatever. I know I've harped on this a lot, but it just, I can't, I am losing my patience with this storyline. And I know this just keeps going, but I'm quickly getting to the end of my rope with them. So let's move on. Luis talks to Sheridan, noticing he says she's distracted or whatever. So she tells him she isn't telling him about the wedding, but doesn't confess what it is. Maybe I put the wrong person here. Do you know what this note means? I wrote she admits there's something she isn't telling him. But
it's to Antonio. It was Antonio, not
okay,
Luis.
that's what it is.
Because Luis and Beth leave after they practice, and they get to practice kissing the brides, which I thought was really childish, but whatever. Or it's just an excuse to make Luis and Sheridan uncomfortable.
Oh my God. Okay. So, yes, Antonio and Sheridan have this weird conversation where he's like, Sheridan, I can tell something's wrong. I can tell something's off. And she kind of like hems and haws. And then she says, there is something I need to tell you. There is something I need to tell you. And he says, well, I need to tell you something first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I hate him. I hate him so much.
Brother, this guy stinks.
I need to tell you something first. And then he just tells her the same thing he's been telling her. You're so special. You're so beautiful. I can't believe a woman like you would want to be with me. And I can't, you have made me the happiest man in the world. And I can't wait for us to be married. And oh my God, shut the fuck up. And Sheridan rolls her eyes at him. It's so funny to me because he can't see her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because when he cuts her off, because she's about to tell him something, which I assume she actually was maybe going to tell him the truth. But you know what? If she was going to tell him the truth, that shouldn't have stopped her. She's heard that speech before.
Every day, every hour, probably every minute at this point.
Yeah. That should not have stopped her. She probably could recite the damn speech herself. And so, for me, it felt like just another tactic from Antonio to like, I personally think, and I think I said this on last week's episodes, I personally think not that he necessarily knows that Sheridan and Luis are in love, but that Sheridan has second thoughts about her relationship with him, with Antonio. I think that he plays up these little moments to maintain her sympathy and keep her with him. Because again, I will go back to when he gave her the quote out, right? I'm going to give you the out, but he gave it to her in front of absolutely everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's like that's not a conversation that you have in front of the whole damn town. Right? Like he did that so that he could feel like he's the good guy. I gave her the out and she didn't take it. And now she's going to be my wife and she really wants to be with me. No, you know that's not true. And that's how I felt about that conversation with in the church, where he says, there's something off about you. Oh, I know what it is. You want to tell me, you want to talk about how much you love me too, or something like that. Did you write it down? I'm sorry. I took such bad notes.
That's it. I did. So I actually really took, I think, copious notes most of the week. And in this part, my notes say, when Antonio does the thing where he won't let her speak and he can't explain how much he wants to marry her. He's fighting for their wedding. And he hopes she'll remember how happy their wedding day was after he's gone. Yeah, and then puts her on the spot and says, now tell me in your own words how you feel about our wedding.
Yes. Thank you. That's exactly what happens. He says, no, I know what's going on. I want to tell you how I feel about our wedding. Now you tell me how you feel about our wedding. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in your own words, tell me how much you love me. And like, oh God, that's when she rolled her eyes at him, and it was so funny to me.
Yes. And at the end of that, she looks up at the altar and sees Antonio, who morphs into Luis in her little vision.
Yeah. And she says something about like, oh, it could have been us. It was supposed to be me and Luis or something like that. And and Antonio's just standing there. This church is hideous. I've seen some beautiful cathedrals, and they try to do like some framing of like that fake ass stained glass that they have in there. And it was so ugly. I was like, God, this is ugly church. And I love, listen, I'm not particularly religious, but I love religious architecture and like beautiful churches and beautiful cathedrals. And this is not this is a real stinker, to be honest. I've never seen, they've never like really shown the whole church like that before, like the backing and everything. And I was like, oh, that's not pretty at all.
It's all stone because Ivy drove through the first one, so they had to reinforce it with something that might withhold a car.
They had to put some masonry up, some good masonry up, because Ivy destroyed this church. Okay. So then they talk about the engagement party. They're going to go to the engagement party, which is being held at the Seascape, which I was very excited about. I just assumed it would be at the mansion, but I'm glad it's not. I'm so glad we went to a new location and got to see the Seascape. We haven't seen the Seascape since Theresa announced that she was Mrs. Julian Crane. That was where she made her big announcement to the town that she was paying for everybody's dinner because she was Mrs. Julian Crane. So I was happy to see the Seascape come up again.
I had forgotten it because it had been a hot minute for me personally, that when I first saw it, I got it confused with the Lobster Shack. And I was like, shouldn't it be the, restaurant that's kind of on the wharf, a little more woody looking? But then I remember, I was like, wait, the Seascape is like their really fancy restaurant in town.
Yeah, the Seascape is like let's see. Lobster Shack is like Red Lobster.
Yes.
And the Seascape is like the Seascape is Bonefish Grill. It's as fancy as it gets in this town. So anyway, Bonefish Grill is good though. I'm not knocking it. It is good. So actually, is Bonefish Grill still around? I haven't seen one in a long time.
It's been a long time, but I knew what you were talking about. So it either existed or does.
Whatever. Who cares? So what? Who cares? Not me. So we're gonna head over to Beth. Beth goes home. Has a conversation with her mom that's awful, right? Her mother's like, Beth's in a great mood, right? Until
she gets home.
She's getting everything she wants, but she gets home, and this is when she realizes that Edna has destroyed her wedding dress fabric. And Luis takes her home. So Luis comes in and he sees this whole scene as well. Reminder that Edna took the wedding dress fabric and wiped up her pee. She peed all over the floor, and then she took the fabric and smeared it all in the pee and was stomping on it. She's a vile, vile person. Somebody on YouTube left a comment on one of my videos that said, my mom's a lot like Edna. And I told her, like, my sympathies are with you. Truly. Edna is truly vile. I can't imagine having that for a mother. So Beth, of course, is devastated, distraught. She's like, "What did you do?" And Edna pretends, "What? This was your wedding dress fabric? I didn't know that." And Beth is like, "Yes, you did. I showed it to you. I told you about it. You knew exactly what you were doing, mother." Louise kind of comes to Edna's defense, like, "I'm sure she didn't know. We'll get you some more fabric." She's like, "There isn't any more fabric. There isn't any more fabric. That was the last of it. This is out of. They don't manufacture this anymore, apparently." And here's my thing though. I'm guessing again. Now I'm about to harp on the time warp again, because why do you just have raw fabric and your wedding is tomorrow? At first it was supposed to be tomorrow. Now it's in a few days, but still, that's not. I don't know. Is that enough time to whip up a wedding dress?
No.
So,
and we haven't been shown that Edna or Beth makes wedding dresses. Like, who's going to make it?
Well, Beth did say she was going to make her dress. She was like,
oh, did she?
She found a dress in a magazine and she was like, "I can make this. I can make this." So we do know that I'm pretty sure the plan was for her to make the wedding dress herself, but she bought really, really nice, expensive fabric that Edna has ruined with her piss. I hate this woman so much. So after that, what happens after that? You have no.
Well, so Luis is trying to comfort her, and he says that they can get whatever fabric he want or she wants, and they can even use his crane sister to get what she wants, which was funny because we're only two, maybe 3 years in
Yeah.
from the first episodes when he wanted absolutely nothing to do with the crane or their money.
Yeah. Now he's like, well, my sister's a crane and she can get you whatever fabric you want. And so yeah, he manages to calm her down somewhat. But yeah,
and then Luis then invites Edna to the engagement party, which of course Beth is absolutely against and tries to lie, like she needs her rest, while Edna's trying to accept. And Luis still tries. Beth reiterates that there's no way she's going. And then when she goes upstairs, Edna's like talking to the newspaper clipping that is only of Luis, Beth, Sheridan, and Antonio, while Fox was talking to the newspaper clipping that was only Gwen and Ethan. But and she vows she's never going to let them marry and rips it perfectly so that Antonio and Beth are out of the picture, and it's just Luis and Sheridan
together, side by side. Yeah, I did forget to mention that when they were outside of Beth's home, Beth stopped and talked to Luis and asked him basically, like, I saw the way you were looking at Sheridan at the church. Like, you're not getting cold feet, are you? You're still going to marry me, right? And you're going to stay married to me, right? And Luis says, no, I don't have cold feet. I love you. And we're going to get married. We're definitely going to get married. And so she's happy until she goes inside and finds that her wedding dress material is ruined. And then all that stuff that we just talked about happens. And what else? What happens? Hank checks in on Luis.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, so in the next episode, we immediately see like Edna and Beth getting ready for the party. And she, of course, is doing her shtick where she's threatening to stop the wedding. So Beth asks where her axe is. And then she's like trying to find it. Luis arrives.
Yes. Luis shows up. He tells Edna she looks very festive.
I think that was for the actual wedding.
Oh my God. Again, there was so much like back and forth and crisscrossing in these episodes. That like I said, my notes, particularly for Luis, are very bad. I'm very sorry.
That's okay. I mean, like I took a lie. I can fill in what I took.
Yes, you're gonna have to do the heavy lifting for a little bit here.
Okay, so when Luis arrives, he tells Beth that she'll be the most beautiful woman at the party, which prompts Edna to be like, oh, well, Sheridan be there with Antonio. And then Luis and Beth kind of recap who all's getting married. So we go through all four couples. And as they're getting ready to leave, Beth threatens Edna that if she tries anything, there'll be 4 weddings and a funeral, hers. And then they get to the seascape, and Luis is setting them down. And the Sheridan and Antonio arrive, and Antonio's still going on about marrying Sheridan, and soon all of his dreams will come true. And then Beth and Edna, like the only time I like Edna now is when she's kind of making jabs at Antonio, because Edna whispers to Beth her dreams won't come true because God's angels won't let her marry Luis.
Right. Okay. Thank you. You got me.
And she'll make some more jabs at Antonio later. They're specifically, about him dropping dead, which I thought were really funny.
Toe tag time for Antonio.
Yes.
And the end of your time with Luis was hilarious to me. Okay. So, Hank, at some point during the party, he checks in on Luis. He's like, "Hey man, how you doing? You hanging in there? I know this is kind of probably a little tough for you. I can't believe that you and Sheridan aren't getting married and that you're gonna marry Beth." And Luis tells him, this is what I had to do. I couldn't take it anymore. Sheridan was gonna marry Antonio, and you know what? Beth's a great girl. And he says, "I'm just worried that after we get married, when I see Antonio and Sheridan, I'll look at them and wonder what if." So he should not be getting married. I know I've said this a million times, but Luis, none of these people should be marrying anybody, but particularly Luis is fully and completely aware and cognizant of his feelings for Sheridan. And it is just not fair for Beth, even if Beth says she's okay with it. It's not. He should know better than that. He should. I don't know. I guess it can be kind of a gray area for somebody. Just if you think like Well, in his mind, Sheridan's going to marry Antonio, and Antonio may never die, right? And so Sheridan's always going to be unavailable to him, and he was never going to have her. So what, is he just not supposed to have anyone because he can't have Sheridan? Fair, okay, I hear that argument, but he doesn't have to get married today.
No.
Right now, you don't have to get married tomorrow. Like, you could give it a few months. You could give it a few months, and that's the other thing about Sheridan. I mean, she's under more of a time crunch because Antonio really, really, really wants to get married. And he knows he's dying, so he wants to do it before he dies, obviously. So she's under more of a time crunch, because I was about to say, I mean, what's the hurry? Let's push this a few months, but Sheridan's under more of a time crunch. She should just be honest, but she's not going to do that. So,
no.
So during the course of this conversation with Hank, Antonio and Sheridan are dancing, and throughout the night, everybody's like checking on him, like, hey, you look a little unsteady. Are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm fine. I just have a headache. I'm fine. And then they're walking off the dance floor into the bar, Sheridan and Antonio, and he has an episode, and he grabs his head, and then he like falls over, but he like flips over a table, and the way he fell was hilarious to me. I didn't clip it because it would have been mean, but it's not mean. It's not real. So, but I didn't clip it, but he falls over a table. It was hilarious to me. Luis and Pilar all rush in to see what's going on with him. And I don't know who says it, but somebody says, Antonio's not breathing.
It's Luis.
Okay, yes. Luis says, Antonio's not breathing. Great. Great. Finally, we did it. And so he's not breathing. And then that's when Edna says to Beth, toe tag time for Antonio, and the end of your time with Luis, which toe tag time for Antonio is a funny alliteration to me. And so this is when Eve comes over to check on him. She brings him, she's like doing CPR on him. It's like, let it go. He's dying, right? Let him die. I guess she has an oath to uphold or whatever, but
the progress of giving everyone to Antonio, I thought was really funny because, of course, they're shouting out, someone go get Dr. Russell. And Hank does it, but he goes and gets her in the most calm manner, and he's just like, Antonio collapsed.
Well, Hank never gets in a hurry about anything. Like, Hank is so one note on all levels. Like, he's, no matter what's going on, you're gonna get the same line delivery from that guy. I'm sorry. Like, whatever. He's cute though, I guess.
Yes. I just thought it was so funny. There was no urgency that someone may have just died, and he calmly just is walking around. And then when he tells them, they run, and it starts a train of people dashing to Antonio.
I'm gonna put in my head canon, I'm gonna say that Hank doesn't want anybody to save Antonio, and that's why he's like taking his sweet ass time. He's like, I'll go get her, and then he just like does his sloth walk over to like
he probably walked over to one of the other food tables, sampled some stuff.
It's like, I'll go get her. Let me get a drink first, and then I'll go get Eve. Because he's trying to look out for his friend Luis. So anyway, they managed to bring him to, and Eve is like, we're gonna get you to the hospital. He's like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. Take me home. And she's like, I really think you should go to the hospital. He's like, no, if I'm dying, I want to go home. At least let me go home. Fine. Send his ass home. So they send him home. Everybody goes over to the cottage, crowding this man. Like, give him some space. I get Sheridan being there. I guess I get Luis being there. Take Edna home, right? Like,
yes.
I get Sheridan and Pilar being there, and Eve because she's the doctor. But I feel like I understand why Luis would be there as his sibling, but like Theresa didn't go.
No,
Miguel didn't go. Like, they just kept on partying. They stayed at the fucking party. And so I just felt like, yeah, give the man some space. But Beth, Edna, Luis, Pilar, Eve all go back to the cottage with
TC,
Sheridan.
Liz.
Yeah, TC and Liz. Yes, that was enough. Yes, thank you for bringing them up. They also all go back to the cottage.
Yes.
Like, give
Because
this man some space.
No, and TC doesn't care about Antonio. He wants to find out who Liz's sister is.
Oh my God. TC is such a dog with a bone about this woman he does not know. Just begging Liz for information, dirt on her sister, the whole damn episodes, all the episodes. It's just like, yeah, so what about your sister? But we'll get there.
Yes.
So where was I? They're back at the cottage. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Eve explains to everybody except for Antonio that Antonio, she does. She's a terrible.
It's true.
She explains to everybody that Antonio is deteriorating more quickly than she even thought he would be. And like he doesn't have much time left. He's dying. This prompts Sheridan to think, well, what if he dies before we get married? So she gets Luis alone. And which he actually finds her. He goes to find her. I want to say that. She doesn't seek him out. She goes to get some air and he follows her out. But once they are alone, she tells him, my feelings for you haven't changed. I love you more than ever. And then she asks him, if Antonio dies before I can marry him, will you still go through with marrying Beth or will you come back to me? What is this show? What is this? Sheridan says, Luis, I want you to take your time answering me because this is just too important. And I know how this sounds. I don't want Antonio to die, but God is going to take him. Yes, girl, stay on that line of thinking. God is going to take him. God is going to take him. It's in his hands, but it's in your hands whether you and I are together or not. You have to decide if Antonio dies before we get married, are you still going to go through with marrying Beth or will you be with me? So she's so close to the point. Like she's so close to getting it and understanding what Luis has been saying to her.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of taking ownership of what it is that she has to do and the part that she has to play in making sure that Luis and Beth don't get married, she puts all of the onus on Luis, which Luis has told her time and time again what she would need to do, right? She just doesn't want to do that. And so now she's like, well, if he seems like he might kick it tonight. She's like, I'm just hedging my bets here. It seems like he might kick it tonight. So we fucking or nah? Like that's what it feels like to me with Sheridan. Like, girl, what is this? Frankly, I know Sheridan doesn't have much of a leg to stand on, but I would be pissed at. I probably would be mad at Luis. Like, you don't have. She doesn't have much of a leg to stand on, but you're just gonna marry somebody else that damn quickly. At least, well, you know what? I'm gonna cut that all out because actually, I was about to say, at least Sheridan and Antonio have been engaged, but Luis and Beth were engaged too. Luis and Beth were engaged too. So he's just reverting back to what he was doing before Sheridan came back to life. So I will retract the statement I was about to make. Yeah. So whatever. She asks him that. He doesn't answer.
No. But she does say he can take his time. Like, she'll give him time.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Beth and what's her name? Edna are like listening in on this conversation. Of course, Edna's like, see, I told you. Like, there's no way he's going to choose you over Sheridan. Then Beth goes to Antonio's room and begs him to stay alive. Stay alive. Begs him to stay alive long enough to marry Sheridan.
Yes. I laughed so hard at that because she's like leaned over the bed, whispering into his ear.
Yeah. Hold on until after Luis and I are married. Okay. So we roll this day over at this point. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Luis, this is what I had skipped a lot, Lord. Luis arrives to Beth's house to pick her up to take her to the church for Ethan and Gwen's wedding. And he tells her she looks beautiful. And then she says, thank you. I just have a few loose ends. I have to finish up here. You wait for me out in the car, right? And
Mhm.
so she goes out to the car. Also, this is when he tells Edna she's looking very festive, right? He's like, he
Yes.
can't bring himself to say she looks nice.
Well, I mean, she does it.
And she's like, oh, thank you for noticing. And so he goes out to the car, and Edna is like ready to go to the church. She thinks she's going to the wedding,
Mhm.
but not if Beth and her duct tape have anything to say about it, right? She starts to tape her mom, all like just going around her with this duct tape. She tapes her to a chair, and she leaves her there. She's like, I'm leaving you here. And what, as she should.
Yes.
As she should. I wouldn't take Edna anywhere but to a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take her anywhere but to an institution to have her admitted into that institution. That's it. I wouldn't be taking her to a church. I wouldn't be taking her to a wedding. I wouldn't be taking her to an engagement party at a nice restaurant. No, she pees on herself.
Mm-hmm. And she put that Christmas skirt Edna liked so much under her as payback for for ruining her wedding fabric.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's like, yeah, so you can pee on this. God. Oh, their relationship is so toxic. God.
It is. It's so sad. It's so sad. I just like I felt sorry for it, but I was glad Beth was getting a little bit of retribution in that moment.
The thing is, I get Beth, and I remember so clearly feeling like Beth was very abusive to her mother,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand the dynamic between the two of them. You know what I mean? As a young person, it's insults are one. What do we learn? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Mm-hmm.
words will never hurt me, right? And so in my little preteen teenage mind, abuse is physical,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so Beth, we always see Beth doing something physical to Edna, grabbing her, pushing her, taping her up, putting stuff in her
Mm-hmm.
mouth, right? We always see her doing physical things to Edna. We don't see it the reverse way. But that's only because Edna is not strong enough anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
can guarantee you she used to beat the shit out of Beth. Like
Yeah.
I feel like she definitely was physically and emotionally abusive to Beth. But the emotional abuse is so awful that as an adult, I'm looking at it like, oh, yeah, tape her ass up.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I'm the exact same way. As a teenager watching Passions, I was like, Beth is crazy. At least her mom's funny and will try to stop her. And now I'm like, yes, Beth, she's a little crazy, but she's crazy because of her mother. And her mother's the worst.
Her mother is the worst. And like you said, everything Beth does, all the ways that Beth acts are all directly related to the way she was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Directly related
Absolutely.
to her mother's bad examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way she's treated Beth. So Beth is just giving her back what she got.
Exactly.
What goes around comes around. That's what another thing I learned when I was like 5. What goes around comes around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Beth tapes her up to a chair and they head off to the wedding. And she explains her mother's not going to the wedding. She's not feeling well, whatever. So they get to the church. They get to the church and Luis like immediately starts to reminisce about his wedding day with Sheridan. And they gave us a flashback of that wedding. And I
Mm-hmm.
had forgotten how bad Sheridan's hair was on her wedding day. It was awful. It was like, you know how you put rollers in and then you take the rollers out and so the curls are very stiff, right?
Mm-hmm.
The curls are very like stiff and tight. And then you're supposed to like brush the curls out and like or run your fingers through them to like loosen the curls. It was like they had rolled her hair and only taken the rollers out and done nothing else with it. It looked so bad. Sheridan looks so much better now. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, I think I meant to mention it at the engagement party. She looked beautiful. Her hair was really beautiful. It might have been the engagement party or it might have been the wedding. I can't remember which one, but her hair, I love that they've let her grow her hair out some.
Mm-hmm.
and it's at the I think it's at the perfect length, and they've styled it perfectly for like her bone structure. She looks beautiful.
Yes.
I was like stunned by how pretty she was and how beautifully her face was framed by her hair, because
Mhm.
frankly her hair has been bad for years. Years, and they finally let this woman be beautiful, because she's a beautiful, I mean, Mackenzie's a gorgeous woman.
She is.
So yeah, the hair, those curls, when I saw the flashback, I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot how bad her hair was on her wedding day. So yeah, he thinks about their wedding day and he's sad about it, of course, whatever. So then Sheridan at the church, I guess, pulls Luis aside and asks
Mhm.
him if he's decided what he will do if Antonio dies before the wedding. Will he marry Beth or will he come back to her? Luis says, I haven't thought about it much. Sure you haven't, buddy. Sure,
It's all he thinks
Jan.
about.
I need that gif that goes, sure, Jan, you know?
Yes.
I haven't thought about it much. Okay, sure you haven't. And he's about to give her his answer. Like, he seems like he's ready to kind of talk to her about it at least. But then they get interrupted by Father Lonigan, Beth, and Antonio, who come over and start talking about love and marriage, whatever, who cares. And so the wedding begins at this point.
Mhm.
And Sheridan is the maid of honor, I think. And so as she's walking down the aisle, Antonio asks Luis, like, hey, is Sheridan walking down the aisle? And Luis like, yeah. He's like, can you describe how she looks to me? And Luis says, she's a beautiful princess, a dream come true, an angel on earth. Her eyes and smile, they're so full of love, so full of love. If that doesn't clue Antonio in, I don't know what will. Like, why are you talking about my fiance like that? She's an angel on earth. She's a dream come true, a beautiful princess. And Antonio's like, yeah, you know what? I'm the luckiest man alive. And Luis is like, yep, you are. And so then the wedding gets disrupted, which we will talk about.
Mhm.
We will talk about, but that is basically everything I have. I do have a note about the dialogue that was missing from 880, but I don't care. It's
Yeah,
just
I don't think that
Pilar having
dialogue
a
was
conversation
anything
with Antonio.
special.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was just a conversation where Pilar asks Antonio about his pain, and he says, well, I'm just having a really bad headache. And then he says something about this might be where I might get married here, but this also is going to be where my funeral is. It's like, yeah, that's how little small towns work. Like,
Mhm.
everybody's likely getting married here and dying, having their funerals here, you know, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, way to really turn a nice occasion sour, Antonio. Ooh.
Which is what he does.
Yeah, he's such a wet blanket. He's such a, I mean, I know he's dying. I should give him a little, no, I'm not.
At the end of these episodes, I was like, he will live to pass out another day.
Yeah. He's going to live to pass out a bunch of days. And I'm tired of it. I really am. All right. So with that, I'm ready to move on to our fated couples, Theresa, Ethan, and Gwen. There's really no Chad and Whitney. One little bitty, tiny little thing happens, but it's not even really worth mentioning.
Mhm. Before we start, can we go back really quick to one last Shawise note?
Yes, please.
Edna breaks free and somehow gets to the wedding.
Yes.
I mean, nothing really major happened. She sits down and makes like wisecracks, but I just wanted to throw out there, she does break free to get to the church and torment Beth about how her wedding will not happen.
Yes, thank you. Because I forgot about that. Yes, that happens. Edna makes it into the wedding and does her Edna thing. So Thank you for bringing that up. So yeah, that's it for Shawise. And now we're on to Theresa, Ethan, and Gwen, the fated couples. There's, like I said, there's no real Chad and Whitney. So we'll just there's I mean, Chad and Whitney are like barely even in the episodes to begin with. So
And Whitney more so than Chad.
Yeah. Yeah. Chad shows up once or twice. Like, I think he has a line, 2 lines, maybe in all 5 episodes.
I was going to say, one episode, he didn't even have any lines. He just appeared for a minute, not even a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, let's get into what's going on with Theresa, Ethan, and Gwen. Oh my gosh. So we pick up this week, and Gwen is very excitedly ordering clothes for the Great White North, from LL Bean specifically.
Yes.
Like, I have to call LL Bean and order some parkas. And so she orders all of these clothes for her and Ethan and the baby for the cold weather. And she's excited to be making this change. And even though she's not thrilled about moving to Alaska, she's making the best of it because at least Theresa will be far behind her. She says the competition is over and I've won. So this is exactly what I've been saying. And this will come up again later on in these episodes. I mean, later on in my notes and whatever. But Gwen, I think Gwen loves Ethan. I think she puts up with all this bullshit because she wants to win over Theresa. I think if Theresa had been someone that she respected as a part of her socioeconomic class, I don't think she would have fought so hard to hang on to Ethan or get Ethan back or marry Ethan. I think, especially as we go on and we find out exactly what Ethan has been hiding from her and everything, right? It really is clearly about winning over Theresa and nothing else. Getting her revenge on Theresa. She just hates Theresa. She hates Theresa. She loves Ethan, but there's simply no way she's fighting so hard just to be with him. Whatever. I'm sure Maria disagrees with me, but she does say the competition is over and I've won. So it's about her winning at the end of the day. So that's happening. She's talking to Ivy and Rebecca. Ivy and Rebecca are like trepidatious. They're worried. They're like, I don't know. I know Gwen is happy, but I won't be able to let my guard down until Gwen and Ethan are actually married because I know Teresa's up to something. Theresa. Right. And so they're still worried that Teresa's up to something. Gwen is like, what could she possibly do? Right. We're going to Alaska. It's done. It's a done deal. I've won.
Yes.
So,
and she's having Ethan's baby.
She's having Ethan's baby. And so to her, what could Theresa possibly do to manage to gain Ethan back from her, basically, right? So let's talk about what's going on with Ethan and Theresa. Ethan is talking to Theresa at her office, telling her that the job in Alaska fell through, and Theresa pretends to be surprised, right? Because she's the one that sabotaged that.
We get the flashback showing so.
Yes, exactly. She's the one that sabotaged that, but she pretends, oh my gosh, Ethan, I can't believe that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I do still have a position open here at Crane Industries if you want it. And so she offers him this job again. Ethan is hesitant, as he has been past weeks, about this. This is not the first time she has offered this to him. And she insists that she only wants him for professional reasons. Like, because he's like, no, Theresa, I don't think us working so closely together would be good for you. And I guess in a way he's worried that she's trying to get him back. I don't know if he says that in so many words, but the subtext is there, right? And so that's why she responds with like, this is purely professional. I know that you're with Gwen, but I do really need somebody here. She then starts to like stroke his ego, right? She's like, do you know you're a legend around here? People still talk about all the amazing deals that you managed to get through, things that no one else could have done. Don't believe that. And she's like, you could come back here. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to work in the office. You could telecommute. And he's like, what is telecommuting? And she shows him her laptop where she has a video of little Ethan, baby Ethan, in his crib at the Crane Mansion, right? She's like, see, I had this camera set up at the mansion, so you would never even have to come into the office. Like, this technology exists. and, and he's like, oh, wow, this is great. We would never have to see each other. And so she's like, wait, no, that's not what I meant.
She said something about like, well, they could talk on the phone whenever he needed to call in.
Yes. So she basically is like, I'll be flexible. You don't have to be in the office. But then Ethan actually says, like, this is cool, but it wouldn't work. I would have to come into the office. I would need to be in the office. Okay, boomer. And so return to office. Ugh, yuck. And so he's like, I don't know. He's still hesitant. He's like, I don't know if I will be able to do this. Actually, this is when she starts stroking his ego,
yes,
calling him a legend and pressuring him to answer her, saying no other. He's not going to be able to find another job that's as appealing as this one, and she's willing to pay him tons of money and be extremely flexible with him. And she just needs him professionally, of course. And she's like, this would be great for you. And Ethan, after some, I don't know, Gwen's not gonna like it, he accepts the job, ultimately.
Yeah. She offers the alternative of like they could just live off of Gwen's trust fund, which she knows he won't do because his ego's so big.
He's so dumb. He's so dumb. You want to get married to this woman that you are saying that you love so much and she's so important to you, but you won't even give her the courtesy of a phone call at this point, right? Like, of course, this is something he should say to her in person, like, hey, and have a discussion with her. Hey, Theresa has offered me this job. I know you don't like it, but I don't have any other options right now. Okay, that's something you can do. You should do in person. But if I'm Gwen, I would appreciate the phone call over you not telling me at all.
Yeah.
Right? Over you not discussing this with me at all, and you know how I feel about Theresa. Know how I feel about Theresa. No, absolutely. Ooh, I can't stand. He's a scrub. He is such an awful scrub. And so he accepts the offer without discussing it with Gwen, without even telling Gwen. Because, like, even if he called her to tell her that was what was happening, right? Like, this is what's happening, I would be able to have a little bit, like the tiniest bit more respect for Ethan. He didn't even give her a courtesy of a phone call to tell her that this was happening, let alone discuss it with her and ask her opinion on it, right? And see how she would feel about it. And also your wife or your fiance, she's pregnant, and her finding this information out is going to stress her the fuck out. It's going to run her blood pressure up. It's very bad for the baby. Very bad for the baby. He never thinks. He's not a thinker.
No.
But I don't know. That really, really, really bothered me, particularly because, like I said, Gwen is pregnant. You know this is going to upset her. You know this is going to upset her a lot. And he's a lawyer. You would think he would know that stress is bad for the baby.
I mean, they say he's a lawyer. I don't know if we've ever seen true evidence.
We've seen him in court lose cases, but so I believe he's a bad lawyer. I think he has his license. I don't know how he got it, but I think he has it. I can't attest to how legitimate his license is, right? Like,
Alistair bought that.
If he actually passed the bar, if they paid somebody to take the test for him. But yeah, you're supposed to be so smart, and you don't even consider what this might do to the health of your fiance and the child that she's carrying. But whatever, it's not something he considers at all. And so yes, he accepts the job. Theresa says she's going to get the paperwork drawn up immediately, and we'll get it to him as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Gwen is at home excited about her wedding, and she's talking to Ivy and Rebecca. And Ivy and Rebecca keep thinking like, man, it's so weird that Ethan could only find a job in Alaska. Like, that's the only thing he could find. And so they do for a moment consider that this is because of Theresa. This is Theresa's fault. But Ivy says, no, that doesn't make sense. Why would she want him in Alaska? She would want him as close as possible to her. And so they're like, we know Theresa's behind this, but we just can't make sense of it right now. And so this is when Ethan shows up. He arrives home. He's, I guess, going to tell Gwen. Yes, actually, I'm going to say this. He was going to tell Gwen the truth. He was going to try to tell her the truth. She was all in a frenzy and all excited about this wedding and about the clothes from LL Bean and their move to Alaska. And I can't remember where she goes, but as she's trying to tell him the truth, or as he's trying to tell her the truth, she like takes off. Do you have a note about that?
Yeah, they're getting ready for the party. So she tells him to go get ready for the party, and then she leaves to do so.
Ah, okay, yeah. Instead of letting him say what he needs to say, which I'm not going to put it all on her, because he should have been very firm and said, hey, I really need to, this is important. I need to talk to you about it.
Yes.
And I know she would have stopped and said, okay, Ethan. She would have said, okay, Ethan, you're scaring me. That's what
That's exactly what she would have said.
That's exactly what she would have said. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so he doesn't get a chance to tell her the truth. Meanwhile, Theresa has a conversation with on the phone with Whitney. Is that where she says this about?
No, she's talking to the baby monitor first. Then Whitney comes in her office.
Okay. I was like, what? Where is she? Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, she talks to the baby monitor saying her crazy stuff, right? But basically she explains, when Whitney shows up, she explains her plan wherein she has arranged for Ethan's Crane Industries employment papers to be delivered to Gwen at the engagement party tonight, quote, by accident, right? And she tells Whitney that if Gwen finds out that Ethan is working with her, she'll be so angry that it will blow their engagement out of the water. It'll blow them apart. So this is her plan for Gwen to find out at the engagement party. Oh, also, I want to say Gwen, for this engagement party, is wearing yet another red dress. And she looks great in it. But if I were her, I would just be like, after the last engagement party that she and Ethan had the night before their wedding, and she had on that red dress, no. Give me a blue dress, purple, pink, green, anything but red. Anything but red. But I thought that was funny. But anyway, back to Theresa and Whitney. So Theresa explains that she is going to have these employment papers delivered to Gwen. So Gwen will find out that Ethan is working for Theresa before Ethan gets a chance to tell her, right? To tell her the truth. So, you know, it's deceitful. It's not a terrible plan, but it's not the greatest plan either, because the way she sets this up, she talks to her assistant Trish. She tells Trish, first of all, I need those papers done tonight. And Trish is like, that usually takes some time. It's going to take some time. She's like, no, you're going to do it tonight. Okay. Oh my God. So Trish does put a rush job in and gets them done. And then Theresa tells Trish that she wants her to deliver those papers to Gwen specifically, not to Ethan, to Gwen. Oh, and when she was talking to Ethan, did she tell him, is that when she told him, like, I'll have these delivered to you? Did he ask her, like, don't make sure that these only get delivered to me? Because they had like two conversations about it.
And he's very specific about how the papers need to come to him and not to Gwen.
Yeah, specifically to him and to no one else, because he doesn't want Gwen to find out by any means other than from his own mouth. So anyway, Theresa is not abiding by that. she very specifically directs Trish to deliver the papers to Gwen. So, later on, we see Ethan worrying about how Gwen's going to take the news that he accepted the job and whatever. He worries about how she'll react because she hates Theresa. Yeah, I'm sorry, reading my notes at the same time. Because she hates Theresa so much, and that the best part of them moving to Alaska for her was that they were going to be so far away from Theresa, and now they're going to Alaska. So, the next note I have is that they go to the party. Is that what you have?
Yeah, that's what I have too. I had one note. I wrote down the comment Rebecca made to Ivy about the party before they left for it.
Okay.
Because when Ethan asks to speak to Gwen alone, they go out in the hall, and Rebecca says they'll both be on their toes at their party, but then she looks down to Ivy and says, well, one of us will. And even though that's absolutely terrible to say to someone in a wheelchair, I love their cattiness because we all know that the actress is not really in a wheelchair.
It's an awful thing to say to somebody in a wheelchair, but but Rebecca is an awful fucking person.
Yes, it's
frankly,
on par
so
for
is
her.
Ivy. And frankly, so is Ivy. And you know what? If the roles were reversed, Ivy would be making the exact same remarks about
Exactly.
her. Yeah. So
but yeah, then the next thing I have is the party as well.
yes, so they go to the Seascape restaurant. Everybody's showing up to the biggest party in town, and everybody looks so nice. Shane and I were talking before we started recording about like we love a passions party, right? Where everybody gets to get dressed up. They're in their gowns, they're in their tuxes, and I've said this before many moons ago on the podcast, but I truly believe nothing makes a man look better than a tuxedo, a well-fitted tuxedo. Oh my God. You get 30 to 40% hotter. 30 to 40% hotter in a tuxedo. Every single man, I don't care. Could be the ugliest man alive. And in a tuxedo, you're passable. You know what I mean? Oh, men look so good in tuxedos. So I was happy to see everybody in later at the church, everybody's in their tuxedos, but I was happy to see everybody like in their suits and in their gowns and things. It was really nice.
Yes, there ain't no party like a passions party.
Ain't no party like a passions party.
Because it's going to go miserable and horrible.
And because a passions party don't stop. Like we're going forever. So at the party, Theresa comes up to Ethan and Gwen, and she's the whole time she's got on this like fake, I'm so happy for you guys. Like I know that I was disappointed that Ethan didn't choose me, but I have accepted it. That's why you can use my house for your reception or whatever she said. And whatever. She's faking it. She is faking it so well throughout all of these episodes. Gwen talks about their future in Alaska. She's like on the side. She's like, yeah, I'm glad we're going to Alaska, whatever. This is when Trish arrives with the envelope, right?
I believe so. Well, I can't remember if she arrives before or after Teresa's toast.
But yes, Theresa is faking it, whatever. And then Trish arrives, gives her the envelope with the employment papers. And so Theresa takes them and she's like, with this envelope, I'm going to blow everything up. She tells it to Whitney. She's, so she says it's showtime. And she goes up to them and she's about to give them the papers. Which I was like, why? I didn't understand. I thought her whole plan was for her to be innocent of it. It's an accident that Gwen got a hold of these papers. But Teresa's holding them, and she stops Ethan and Gwen, and like she's going to give, I guess, Ethan, like, I really need to give this to you. This is not what her plan was at all. I was like, this isn't what you said you were going to do. And it also has your fingerprints all over it, which is why you said you wanted somebody else to deliver it to Gwen. But whatever, Passion forgot so quickly what the plan was. Theresa makes a random toast to
the couples getting married.
Yeah, the couples who will marry the people they belong with, or so, it was very like not specifically to Gwen and Ethan, like it was like, here's to finding the person that you belong with kind of thing, right?
Yes. The man or woman they are destined to be with is the
Yes.
quote I have.
Yes, exactly. So yeah. So anyway, she gets the papers, the employment papers. She's interrupts Gwen and Ethan. She's gonna deliver the papers, I guess. And then Antonio collapses and everything is shot to hell, right? And so it interrupts the conversation that they were having, right?
Yes, the Russells and Hank. Well, the Russells run by her. Hank leisurely walks by and she stops him to ask what's going on.
Hank don't give a shit about Antonio.
No, he's over it.
No, the thing is, it's funny because like, you know how much Luis like was hating on Antonio for so long, and I feel like maybe in my head, maybe Hank's like, maybe Luis is done with his beef with you, but my beef with you is not done. Like, I'm still mad at you for how you did my friend, right? Like, because Hank genuinely does not give a shit about Antonio.
No.
Oh gosh, that's so funny. He leisurely walks by. Yeah, so everything is interrupted by Antonio's collapse. Oh, you know what? My next note. This note says Theresa plans to give Gwen Ethan's employment papers, pretending she thought he had already told her. But she goes up to both of them. So like that was her plan, but then she goes up to both of them. Whatever. So after Antonio's collapse, Whitney pulls Theresa to the side and points out how bad her plan is.
Yes.
Like, Ethan will know that you deliberately caused this fight between them, and he'll be furious with you, not with Gwen. Like, Gwen and Ethan may even stay together, and he'll be mad at you. And so Teresa's like, "Oh my gosh, Whitney, you're absolutely right. I can't do it. Not like this. Like, I can't do this way. I have to, she immediately comes up with a new plan." And so Ethan thanks Theresa for her discretion. He has a conversation with her. And he confirms to her that he hasn't told Gwen about the job or anything yet, but he wants to be the one to tell her. And this is when he asks for the contracts to be delivered directly to him and only him. And Theresa says that the papers will be delivered to him tomorrow, which is his wedding day. Like, why? Why can't it wait? Why can't it wait? The papers will be delivered to him tomorrow. Then she talks to Trish. She finds Trish and she tells her, "Hey, I need you to make a little mistake when you give the contracts to Ethan. When you deliver the contracts, you need to give them to Gwen. Give them to Gwen. But it's a mistake. Gwen needs to get these papers first, right?" And she tells her to give them to Gwen right before the wedding. So, and I think for me, this was like the most ridiculous of the whole thing, is that we get to the wedding day. We get to the point where everybody's walking down the aisle before those papers come into play. And it's like, it's their papers. Why would it be so important that you would interrupt somebody's wedding for it?
Exactly. And they gave no reason why Trish came like that late. Like, she could have came earlier and gave them to Gwen, while she was getting ready or something like that.
It's a bad plan. I'm going to be honest. It's just a bad plan.
It is. But they prolonged it so we could see Theresa fretting that, oh no, they're going to get married.
Yes. So, what am I doing? Pre-wedding preparations. Okay. So we're not at the wedding yet, I want to say. Ivy and Rebecca toast to Ethan and Gwen's marriage and their move to Alaska, far from Theresa. She can never get at him again, blah, blah, blah. Of course, they're wrong. They don't know what's coming for them yet. So I believe the next day we're at the mansion, and Rebecca is like, oh, honey, you look beautiful. Julian is like, oh, it's an honor to walk you down the aisle. We find out that Jonathan, which is Gwen's father, refuses to be in the same room with Rebecca. And Rebecca's like, I guess he's still not over me. But I think it's more that he might murder her if he was in the room with her. I think he hates her. And it was very glad to be rid of her when they got divorced. So Julian is walking Gwen down the aisle. She's just having the worst wedding. I'm sorry. This is a sad occasion to me. Your dad can't even be there for you, and this fiance of yours was literally about to marry somebody else. But not only that, it's the same person that he like cheated on with you before, and completely left you the night before your wedding. And I don't know. She's happy. She's excited. So I'm gonna be happy for her. She's happy.
She had her bridesmaid friends come back, Muffy and Buffy and whatever the other one's name was.
Yeah, Muffy, Buffy, and Ruffy. I don't know. They come.
They only appeared for a second, but they're there.
It was so funny. They come in screaming. None of them get a line. None of them. They come screaming in, and then they get in line and they start walking down the aisle with Sheridan as well. So yes, Julian's gonna walk her down the aisle, and meanwhile, Theresa arrives and tells Gwen that she wants her and Ethan to have an unforgettable day. She's like, you're gonna have an unforgettable day. Rebecca immediately clocks that as a threat. Immediately clocks it as a threat, because it's the kind of shit she would say. Like, Ivy, Rebecca, and Theresa are all three peas in a pod, basically.
Yes.
And so, yeah, they clocked Theresa, and Theresa has like this grin on her face the whole time. She's clearly up to something. Ethan's the only one who doesn't see it. But like, I don't understand why Theresa's even invited to the wedding.
Me either. It makes absolutely no sense.
I don't understand why Theresa's even invited to the wedding. And even if what's his name? Ethan truly did believe that Theresa's over him, she understands that he has to marry Gwen, blah, blah, blah. I think she would understand why she's not invited to the wedding. That's something I would have put my foot, if I'm Gwen, that's something I would have put my foot down about. She cannot be here. And security, we need to hire security, frankly, to keep her out. Print out signs, say, do not let this woman in. She is not allowed she's not allowed at my wedding. So it's weird to me that like Theresa and Pilar are invited to the wedding. Like, I don't know.
I already say even Whitney and Chad, but I guess Ethan's supposed to be friends with Chad.
Yeah, Ethan and Chad are like best friends. I thought Chad was going to be his best man, but I think Sam is, right? He asked Sam to be.
So I had a question, because Hank is also standing up there. And I'm like, is Hank a groomsman?
Maybe. Yeah.
Ethan have no other friends?
Yeah, I think this is what I imagine is going on. I believe Sam is his best man. And then Hank and Chad are both groomsmen. And he has no other friends. Chad is his only friend. And Hank is his uncle. So he's just like, okay.
Oh, that's right. I forget Hank is a Bennett too.
Yeah, Hank is a Bennett too. Hank's his uncle, so he's like, yeah, we'll make it a family affair. Where was I? Theresa. Theresa is going to this wedding and tells them it's going to be an unforgettable day, and which is clearly a threat. Theresa again calls her assistant and tells her to accidentally deliver Ethan's employment papers to Gwen before the wedding. This is when then everybody arrives to the church. We get to the church, and the wedding begins. We get to the church, and the wedding begins.
Though I thought it was weird. Theresa, Pilar, and Rebecca and Ivy all arrived at the same time, which I guess they left the mansion, so they maybe, rode together. But I was like, why would they?
I don't know, man. I don't know. This show is so silly. So they all get there to the church at the same time, as you noted. And then they take their seats and everything. Gwen and Julian are waiting in like the vestibule to go down the aisle. And Trish comes rushing in. And this was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't that good because it's stupid. But Trish comes rushing in. She's like, I've got to get these papers to Ethan right away. It's very important. And so she starts to go down the aisle. And Julian's like, no. What are you doing? There's a wedding happening here. And she's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Crane, but this is very important. I have to give these papers to Ethan. She keeps saying, I have to give these papers to Ethan. Julian says, give me the papers and I'll give him the paper. I'll give them to him, right? Give me the papers and we'll do this after the wedding. Because why can't it wait? And so Trish is like, no, I have specific instructions to give them only to Ethan. And Julian threatens her. He says, either you give me those papers or you will be looking for another job and not one in Harmony because I will make sure you can't get hired anywhere. Give me those papers. So she gives him the papers. He puts them in his coat jacket. They start walking down the aisle. Pachelbel's Canon plays. They're walking down the aisle. But Gwen can't stop thinking about those papers. Why? Why would Ethan be getting papers from Crane Industries? Why would Ethan? And she didn't know who Trish was, right?
No, not until Julian mentioned it.
And Julian says, yeah, that is odd. And Gwen asks him, like, who was that woman? And he says, well, that's Theresa's assistant. And that stops her in her tracks. She's like, give me the papers. Give me the papers. Because what is in those papers that Ethan needed to see right now, right? So she takes the papers. They're in the aisle. Walking down. Everybody's standing up, watching them. And she's rummaging through these papers, reading this contract, seeing what it is. And then she rushes down the aisle. And I have this clip. She slaps Ethan, calls him a lying son of a bitch. It's very good. So let's get into this clip.
What is this, and why did Theresa want Ethan to have it?
Come along, dear.
Julian.
Boy, if I'd have missed this, I'd have been fit to be tied.
Gwen has Ethan's employment papers, doesn't she?
Theresa. And she looks so goddamn guilty.
Look how happy Theresa looks. She knows exactly what Gwen's reading.
Which means she has been scheming to derail Ethan's wedding all along.
Gwen, we're about to get married. What were you reading? Gwen, what is it?
You lying son of a bitch.
Oh, things are working out even better than I thought they would. And the best is yet to come.
Gwen, what's wrong?
How could you, Ethan? You did give Ethan's employment papers to Gwen, didn't you? Me? Of course not. I was nowhere near Gwen before she walked down the aisle.
Gwen?
Actually, before we do that, I do want to say, one, I do talk about how, like, similar Theresa, Ivy, and Rebecca are. I will say, in that moment, Ivy never would have shown on her face that she knew what was going on. You know what I mean? Ivy would have never shown her hand. She never would have dropped her poker face. She would just let the chaos reign without anybody ever knowing that this had anything to do with her. Rebecca wouldn't look quite as guilty as Theresa is looking. Theresa is looking extremely guilty. But yeah, they are similar, but I do think, and maybe it's just because Rebecca and Ivy are just more well seasoned in their treachery. So, all right, next part.
What on earth happened? What is wrong?
When were you going to tell me, Ethan?
Tell you what?
You've been lying to me.
Lying? What about?
Ethan, don't even try to deny it, okay? It's right here in black and white. Theresa bought you lock, stock, and profit sharing. You're going to go and work for her? Have you completely lost your mind?
Mm-hmm. And then this was something I had to cut out and didn't. So I'll cut it in post.
Ethan, I'm waiting for an answer. I mean, I'm waiting for you to just tell me that this is just a mistake. This is just some big misunderstanding, and you're not really gonna go and work for Theresa.
Where did you get those papers?
Theresa's assistant delivered them.
I don't believe it.
And is it true? You took a job working for Theresa and you didn't think it was important enough to tell me? Ethan, I thought we were moving to Alaska.
I know. I'm sorry. It's true. I took the job at Crate Industries.
No, Ethan, you can't.
No, Gwen, I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I meant to tell you. It's just the time was never right. I wanted today to be the happiest day of our lives.
Happy? Ethan, you thought I'd be happy to find out you lied about your job in Alaska and that you're going to be working with that slut every single day?
Gwen, the job in Alaska, it fell through.
Oh, okay. So I guess that the only other job in the whole country was working with Theresa.
As a matter of fact, it was. I couldn't find another job anywhere in the country.
Ethan, that is ridiculous. You graduated from the top of your class at Harvard Law and you can't find a job?
Gwen, I don't know. The economy's bad or something. No one's hiring. I can't find anything else. You can call the headhunter if you don't believe me.
Okay. We're gonna stop there for a moment, and I have a third part to this. We're gonna stop there for a moment and talk about very quickly. I had a thought when I was watching this that Ethan is the chief of police son, right? Like, surely, even if he can't find like a high paying like lawyer attorney position, surely he could get a job at the police station, right? Like,
Yeah.
something consulting or something for now, right? Like, I thought about it. I was like, I feel like he didn't even reach out to Sam, right? Sam has a position of power in the town in law enforcement, and you work in law. So why not reach out to him to see if he could help you with something, right? Even if it's like the DA's office or public defender or something like that. I mean, he would be bad at it, and all his clients would go to jail, but he would still get paid. And sure, it's not as much money as you would make working at Crane, but it's better than the alternative of like, or hear me out, just live on Gwen's trust fund for a while. But that he refuses to do that. But if you just need a job, right? Get a job for right now. How many? I know for myself, I have just gotten a job until I could get something better, right?
Me too.
Like, it's just something to help me cover my bills for right now. I'm not going to stay here forever. And again, I know Theresa is like blackballed him at all of these law firms and stuff, but he should have been looking else. If you can't find a job as an attorney or as a lawyer, then like I think Maria said last week, go to apply at the book cafe. I bet you Beth will give you a job. Apply at the Lobster Shack. I bet, like, it wouldn't be a lot of money, but it's a job, and it's such a big deal for you that you have a job.
Exactly.
And frankly, you should have gotten a job by now anyway. Why have you just been lounging around doing nothing? He gets on my nerves. Gwen, I honestly, when she was like, no, Ethan, no, and started to like cry, I felt very sad for her. This is her wedding day. And regardless of how she got here, this is what she wants. And she was happy. And I do hate this for her. I do hate this for her because Ethan, one, should have told her the truth, but two, Ethan simply should not be working for Theresa.
No.
Simply should not be working for Theresa, and he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
He's disgusting.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What? I don't know. It's the economy. The economy. What?
In 2002, it was still fine from my recollection. It was until 2008 it really went downhill.
Yeah, it's the economy or something. I can't find a job. Okay. All right. So we're going to go on to the next clip. You have anything to add before I go to the next clip? Sorry.
No, not in that moment. I agree, especially with what you were saying about Theresa. Like, she's making it so obvious that she's behind it.
Yeah.
Like, she might as well be cheerleading.
Yeah. It's so clear. It's clear to everyone except for Ethan and Julian, which we may see in the next clip. I can't remember. All right. Here we go.
I don't want to call a headhunter, Ethan, and I do not want you working for Theresa. Ethan, I would rather be on welfare than have you in the same room with that girl every day.
Gwen, don't you trust me?
Ethan, of course I trust you. It's Theresa I don't trust. She is a lying, scheming little bitch, and she fixed it. I don't know how she did, but she fixed it so you couldn't get another job anywhere in the country.
Look, I know Theresa has done some pretty bad things in the past, but you don't honestly believe that she's responsible for me not being able to get a job,
Yeah,
do you?
Ethan, I do. She has caused us nothing but so much trouble since the day we met her.
Gwen, she thought you would be upset about this, so she offered to let me work out of home.
Oh.
No, so I can be with you and the baby.
Right. Sure. She'll let you work out of home, right? But then, one day, she'll just have to send you off on a business trip and, oops, oh my, she'll end up in the hotel room right next to you wearing nothing but a smile. Not a bad idea, Gwen. Thanks. Ethan, I know how her diabolical mind works. How in the world could you have ever thought you were in love with her? She has no morals, and she certainly has no character. She would steal pennies from a poor man.
Gwen, I know you hate Theresa, okay, but she is not this evil person that you...
Stop it! You stop defending her! I'm sick of you always defending her.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a discussion. I will not marry you if you work for Theresa. So you need to decide now. It is either me or the job, Ethan. What's it gonna be?
Okay. So, she says, I will not marry you if you take this job. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Because she absolutely is full of shit. Of course she's gonna marry him. Like, I want to say this. I am wholeheartedly 100% on Gwen's side as it pertains to this argument between her and Ethan. She is absolutely correct. Theresa is clearly doing this to get close to you. It's obvious to everyone but you, Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
I personally could not be with a man who was that fucking stupid and dense. Like, you really can't see it. You really don't see it. Or are you gaslighting me because you want to be around her? You want to spend more time with her, right? Like, you can't fool me at this point. And the thing is, Gwen is saying, I do trust you, Ethan. I don't trust her. But the truth is, frankly, Ethan has not done a single trustworthy thing.
No.
Ethan hasn't done anything. There's no reason for her to trust him. So even if he was saying, like, I can't believe you don't trust me, if he's him saying that, she should say, why should I? You left me hanging the night before our wedding. You spent months obsessing over Theresa before our wedding. I only learned that later, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have kept so much from me as it pertains to Theresa. You, in fact, were with me. We were dating. You were about to marry me. And then you decided to marry Theresa like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like last week. And then because I said I was pregnant, you decided to marry me. Of course I'm worried about you being with Theresa. You're in love with her. And I'm not a fucking crazy person for being concerned about you and her working closely together. I'm not crazy. You're an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that he makes it seem like she's crazy. I know Theresa has done some pretty bad things in the past, but she's not this evil person that you make her out to be, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's the thing. I, LeTara, do not believe that Theresa is an evil person, right?
No, I don't either.
And honestly, up to this point, the things that they know about what Theresa has done, they weren't that bad. If what I can think of, right? Like, finding out that she was in love with him the whole time, and going to Bermuda and trying to help him become a crane again, but keeping that hidden from him because of the shame around it. Fine. I don't think any of that was that bad. We get to this point and it's like we've gone to the next level of deviousness and manipulation. And now, yes, we are at a point where Theresa is actively doing harm to Ethan and Gwen, right? But Ethan doesn't know that. Gwen does. Gwen is like, no, and he should listen to her at this point. He should. Frankly, again, I'll say Theresa shouldn't have even been invited here. But the fact that he is telling her, "Oh, I can't believe you don't trust me. Do you not trust me? You don't trust me? No, you haven't done anything to make me trust you." No, she doesn't trust. Of course, she doesn't trust you. You're untrustworthy. You have proven that time and time and time again. I hate Ethan.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
I can't stand him. God, I'm sorry, go for it.
That's okay. I was gonna say it was during that scene I was thinking, it's like, he is a piece of trash. They're fighting over a piece of trash, which is funny because TC has a line about it later we'll get to about who's the trash at the party, and I'm like, it was Ethan.
Yeah, it was Ethan. Yeah. So at this point, they argue back and forth for a while. And Julian, Ivy, and Rebecca all come into this conversation. They show up and they start trying to figure out what is going on. And they learn about the employment papers. Of course, Ivy and Rebecca are like, Ethan, tell me you didn't. Like, what are you doing? And he makes the same excuse. Well, I needed a job. I just have to work with Theresa. I have no other options, no other choices. And so they are like, Theresa did this on purpose. She did this on purpose, basically. And Julian and Ethan both defend Theresa. Gwen and then Theresa comes into the conversation. So, I do have a clip. I'm not exactly sure where it starts, but I do have a clip. So I named this Theresa's performance. She puts on a
We all know what Theresa's.
Okay, yes. So they're all trying to figure out, like, how did this happen? Da, 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 right? So here we go.
We all know what Theresa's done in the past. She couldn't have contacted every law firm in the country and convinced them not to hire me.
Yes, she most certainly could have. Well, of course she did. She has the power of Crane Industries behind her.
She just started working there. How could she have made that many contacts?
I agree. I mean, she's not that bright.
Oh, yes, I am, Julian.
But your father and I had to call in all kinds of favors to keep Ethan from getting a job when we discovered he wasn't at Crane.
Yes, and I haven't forgiven you for that yet either.
Okay, the point is, how could Theresa pull so many strings so fast?
What I want to know is, why did her assistant deliver the papers to Gwen right before she walked down the aisle?
Well, actually, the girl wanted to deliver them to Ethan. She was quite insistent about it, but I didn't want him interrupted, so I took it.
Oh, that's a crock. That damn Theresa knew exactly what she was doing. She could have had those papers delivered to Ethan any time before the wedding. But no, she chose to wait until you were all ready at the altar. Of course she did. That little tramp is dead meat. I've had just about enough of my name being slandered. Oh, eavesdropping again, Theresa? Why am I not surprised? Oh, you are going to wish that all we did was slander your name by the time I'm through with you. Yes. Why don't you just admit that you are behind this fiasco? I am not behind anything. In fact, I have been gracious and kind about this whole wedding. I even offered my home for the reception.
My home, Theresa.
Well, as long as I'm still your wife, Julian, it's my home too. I offered Ethan a job at Crane Industries because I genuinely need his help. But you know what? Ethan turned me down. He said he didn't want to work for me because it would make you unhappy. Ethan, is that true?
Yes, it is. And when I couldn't get anything else, I went back to Theresa and asked her for the job.
And I knew that there was no one more qualified, so I gave it to Ethan. You know, it's not my fault that you don't trust your husband-to-be. See, that's the difference between us. I trust Ethan implicitly. But if you don't trust Ethan, Gwen, why aren't you marrying him? I will kill you!
Okay. Very quickly, I'm going to go ahead and play the role of Maria and say that the line of her saying, I trust Ethan implicitly, I just know Maria's going to be like, no, she don't. No, she did not. She didn't trust him enough to tell him that about her marriage to Julian or about her pregnancy. She didn't trust him. All the things and the problems between the two of them are because she doesn't trust Ethan. That's what Maria would say. So I'm just saying that. Now, I want to say about this scene that regardless of what Theresa may or may not have done, the problem and the onus falls squarely on Ethan for taking that job in the first place. Like we're all having this conversation about Theresa, and she's so awful and she's so evil and she did this and she did this on purpose and blah, blah, blah. But none of this would have happened if Ethan hadn't taken the job in the first place.
Exactly.
Nobody's holding Ethan accountable for his portion in this. He invited this into his life. He invited this into the wedding, right?
Yes.
And so, like I said, regardless of what Theresa did or didn't do, which we know exactly what she did. So, I think particularly as Ethan's mother, she should be holding him accountable. And I do appreciate that Gwen, before this portion of it, Gwen was telling him, like, I can't believe you would do something like this. No, you can't do this. You know, this is, and really made it at least partially about Ethan and put the wrong a little bit on him. She, of course, places the majority of the blame on Theresa. But, you know, I don't know, man. I wish that they would give Ethan a little bit more shit. Honestly, I think I would like Ethan as a character a little bit better if other people were holding him more accountable throughout the show more often. Because yeah, like he would still be doing the same thing, but the way it's written, they write him like he's perfect. They write him like he's done nothing wrong ever. They never really bring up any of the things that he has done to create this situation, and how he keeps the situation going because he wants Theresa. Because he wants Theresa, and sure, he tried. He said, "No, Theresa, no. Gwen wouldn't like it. Gwen wouldn't like it. Gwen wouldn't like it." Am I supposed to give him a gold star for saying no a couple of times, and then still going through with the thing that he knows for a fact and has said out of his mouth would upset Gwen? I'm not giving him shit for that.
No, he's not the victim.
I'm not giving him anything. I can't stand him. So yeah, Theresa puts on that whole performance, the whole thing. You don't trust. It's not my fault that you don't trust your fiance, your husband to be, but not like me. I trust Ethan implicitly. Oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. I hated that. I hated it, and I love Theresa. I actually hate this whole scheme. This is a bad scheme. There's just too many ways to get caught.
Yeah.
The funny thing to me is she knows that Ethan won't suspect her regardless, right? Like Ethan's defending her regardless. So she does sloppy work because this is sloppy. It really is. Because why have somebody who can be directly linked to you, Trish, directly linked to you very quickly, deliver the papers? Why not have a mail boy do it, right? Like a courier, right? And pay them Ivy would have done that. And that's the difference between that. Like I said, Ivy is far more seasoned in deception. Ivy would have paid a courier that nobody could have traced, right? And said, gave him a picture. This is who you need to deliver it to. And then nobody would have, it would have just been a big misunderstanding. She would have very plausible deniability. Theresa has very little deniability here. Like, I know she comes in and says, no, I offered it, but he said no. And like, girl, please, this is so transparent. It's so transparent. So,
and Trisha's going to fold to anyone because she gave them to Julian.
Right, exactly.
She's not Phyllis.
She's not Phyllis. And also, Theresa has not been treating her well either. No. Theresa has not been a very good boss to her. Teresa's been a good boss to Phyllis. She has been a good boss to Trish. So Trish, I imagine, doesn't have much loyalty to Theresa beyond just wanting to keep her job, right?
Exactly.
So, which we forgot to talk about, my fault, about the what happened when Trish did give the papers to Julian. I forgot that she went to tell Theresa, hey, I failed at giving the papers to Gwen. Mr. Crane took them, and Theresa is like so nasty to her.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what she said, but she basically said what Julian said, which was like, if Ethan finds out that this was all me, you'll never work in this town again. Like, right? Like, she's I think she called her stupid. I think she's like, how could you be so stupid?
That sounds familiar. Because I know she told her that if they get married, she will hold her personally and make sure she can never get a job in Harmony again. So yeah, it's the same threat Julian gave her.
Yep. She's a Crane. Our girl's a Crane. Our girl's a Crane. Okay, so fast forward back to where we are now. So after Theresa's little performance, Gwen tells her Ethan's not taking that job. So I don't care how you feel. Ethan's not taking that job. And Theresa's like, is that true, Ethan? You're not going to take the job? And Ethan goes, no, it's not true. I am taking the job. Bitch, if you... God damn it, Ethan. He's so dumb. I am taking the job. I need it to support my family. Gwen goes, what family? Oh my God. And when she said what family, I was like, I knew this was not where it was going, but in my head, I was like, I wish she had been, what family? I'm on my way to the clinic. You don't have a family. This is over. You know what I mean? Like, we're done. Yeah. But she didn't. She said, what family? You're not going to have a family if you take that job. Which I don't think she meant I'm going to get an abortion. I think she meant I'm just going to take my baby and we're just going to have our life without you. Rich, because I'm rich and I don't need a man with a job. I can, like, you don't have to get a job, Ethan. But anyway, you're not going to have a family if you take that job. Then Ethan says, Gwen, you have to understand how chaotic my life. Oh, he gives her the sad sob story. Let me break out my tiny violin for this asshole. You have to understand how chaotic my life has been since I found out I wasn't a Crane. Julian and Alistair made it impossible for me to get a job anywhere. Then Julian interjects and he says, but that was a long time ago. We haven't done anything to keep you from working since, right? And Ethan says, I know and I believe you, but for whatever reason, I can't get hired today. And the only job I have is at Crane Industries and I need to take it. And Gwen says, so you are choosing the job over me? And then he says, no, I won't make that kind of a choice. I'm not blind here. I know what Theresa's capable of, but I've made it very, very clear to her that our relationship is only going to be professional. I love you, Gwen. I want to marry you, but you have to trust me. You haven't done anything to make me trust you. No. You have to trust me. I'm not pleased about being forced to work with Theresa, but I have been. And I'm prepared to deal with that, and I hope you can too. But look, we can't keep all those guests and Father Lonigan waiting. They can fucking wait. This is important.
Yeah.
This is so incredible. God, I hate him.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We can't keep all those guests and Father Lonigan waiting. So I'm going to give you some time to decide about and think about this. And if you haven't decided within 10 minutes, 10 minutes, I will go in there and I will tell everyone that the wedding is off, and I'll tell everyone that it's my fault. He gave her 10 minutes. He is a bad person, a bad man, a horrible boyfriend, fiance, husband, and would be a bad father.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have to say about that, because this is huge. This is a big deal in the scheme of their life, right? And it is I think for Gwen, she very seriously is considering calling the whole thing off, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She's done.
Yeah, you're gonna give her an ultimatum. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, and if you haven't decided by it in 10 minutes, I'm just gonna tell everybody to go home, and I'll tell them it's my fault, but you got 10 minutes. He said it a little nicer than I just said it. Obviously, it didn't have that same nastiness to it, but the words are the meaning is the same. The meaning of those words is the same, regardless of how you say it, honestly. And in this moment, he might as well have said it with an attitude, in my opinion, because it's so incredibly it's so disrespectful. It's so, he has so thoroughly embarrassed and humiliated Gwen over and over and over again. And then he even does it on their wedding day.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to get over it in 10 minutes. Okay. Right.
Not everyone moves at the same pace of him. He might be over stuff in 10 minutes, but the rest of us are not.
You have to do stuff on Ethan's timeline, I guess, on his timing. He's so awful. And for you to be making demands on Gwen, and you broke, don't even have a job, and the only job you can get is with Theresa, a pity job, frankly. So anyway, he gives her 10 minutes, and whatever. Then this is when we lose the video. And we have to refer to the transcripts because this was not in the episode. So we're gonna do our dramatic reading for you all. Let me go to the dialogue. Okay. So do you want to be Ivy or Ethan? Oh wait, it says Ivy and Julian, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's Ivy, Julian, and then Teresa's, I guess, voiceover. She's probably listening again.
Okay, so you be Julian, I'll be Ivy, and then you do Teresa's voice. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Right. So, from what I can glean from the transcript, Ivy has a conversation or tries to talk some sense into Ethan, pulls him to the side and says, Ethan, please don't give Gwen an ultimatum. Don't take this job with Theresa. We'll find you something somewhere else. Please don't make the same mistake I made. I don't know why she's making this about herself. Please don't make the same mistake I made. The biggest mistake of my life, not marrying Sam the minute I found out I was carrying you, his child. Instead, I let my family bully me into staying married to Julian, and I've spent my life in misery.
Oh, misery. Please. You had no trouble going through billions in your misery.
Don't turn your back on Gwen. You know you love her. You know you do.
I don't think so, Ivy. Yep. I don't think so, Ivy. I don't think Ethan loves Gwen at all. In fact, by the end of the day, I expect Ethan to be mine and mine alone.
And scene. Good job. Okay, I want to talk about this real quick. Ivy, why the fuck would she bring up, don't make the same mistake I did? He's not making the same mistake you did.
No.
He's not. These two situations couldn't be more different. So it's just like, why are you, she is a narcissist for real.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a narcissistic mother, which also points to how he turned out the way he has turned out.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Beth, I refuse to give him any grace over it. I refuse.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then we need to go on to the Ethan and Rebecca and Gwen. The Rebecca and Gwen conversation. So, who you want to be, Rebecca or Gwen?
Can I be Gwen?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Let me get into my Rebecca. Let me Okay. Gwen, you can't just walk out on Ethan like this.
Mother, you know I don't have a choice. You and I both know Theresa manipulated the whole thing.
Well, of course she did. She manipulated Ethan into taking this job, and she's trying to manipulate you into walking out on him on your wedding day. You can't let Theresa win.
Mother, you know I love Ethan with all my heart, and I want nothing more to go in there and marry him. But I feel guilty and responsible for him not being able to get a job.
Shh. Don't let anyone hear you say that. Besides, we both know that Theresa did everything in her power to keep Ethan from getting another job.
I know, but he wouldn't be in this position if you and I hadn't emailed the tabloid the information that he wasn't a crane. That's why Julian and Alistair blackmailed him across the country.
Yeah, well, thank God nobody knows we did that. Everybody, including Ethan, thinks that Theresa sent that email.
I know, but I want to do something to make up for the hard time he's been having. But I just don't think I can stand by and watch him go to work every day with that bitch.
I know, honey, I know. I feel the same way. I do. I mean, we'd both be worried all the time, wondering what's going to be Theresa's next big plan.
Oh God, why couldn't we have just gone to Alaska?
Oh, I know. I wish you could have gone to Alaska too. You'd be a long way away from there. But you know, what I want more than anything in the world right now is for you to marry Ethan. Because if you are married to him and you're carrying his child, there's nothing Theresa can do to you. Look, we'll worry about a job later. We'll get your father to call in a favor. Or better yet, we'll bribe Ethan's secretary and get her to be like a spy. And then she can tell us whenever Theresa is trying to seduce Ethan.
Mother, I don't know. Well, I mean, I did give Ethan, the chance to stay here and be with Theresa. I told him I would go to New York and raise the baby myself. He did choose to marry me.
Yes, he did. So you cannot let Theresa win. Look, she is counting on you walking away from this wedding. Show her that you are smarter than she is. Now, you walk down that aisle and you marry Ethan. Oh, Gwen, come on. Do it for your baby. You cannot let Theresa win. And scene. That was good. That was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I didn't read these. I just found the dialogue that was missing and posted it here. So this is my first time actually reading this. And yeah, I'm glad we brought up the tabloid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, great.
That is why he needs a job now.
It is why he needs a job now. So I'm glad we brought up the tabloid. And as this conversation illustrates, this is all about Gwen winning over Theresa. It's about Gwen winning for Rebecca, and it's about Gwen winning for Gwen, right? Like they both want to win. I think Rebecca to a higher extent, but they both, Gwen loves Ethan, but she really wants to beat Theresa. She loves Ethan, but she hates Theresa more. Okay.
So I think Rebecca hates Theresa even more than Gwen does.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Rebecca hates Gwen I said Rebecca hates Gwen. Rebecca hates Theresa even more than Gwen for sure. But on the hate scale, Gwen hates Theresa more than she loves Ethan.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's an interesting conversation between the two of them. So let's do the Ethan and Theresa. I have something between Ethan and Theresa.
Mhm.
Beth, Luis, Antonio, we're not going to do that. Fuck that. Okay, you be Ethan, I'll be Theresa, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Ethan, I know that you're in a really bad situation here. I just wanted you to know that I had nothing to do with my assistant delivering those papers to Gwen.
I hope for your sake, Theresa, you're telling the truth. Because I know what you're capable of. And if I find out that you deliberately let Gwen know about my job before I had the chance to tell her, I will resign immediately. Do you understand?
Ethan, relax. I had nothing to do with it. I promise. So, and scene. So that's what happens there. She lies and says she had nothing to do with it. He lies and says that he'll resign if he finds out that she did have something to do with it. She obviously did have something to do with it. It's just so, like I said before, it's just so transparent. It's just so transparent, but whatever. Anyway, Theresa at this point believes that her plan has worked, right? Gwen is ready to call off the wedding. And so let me get to where I am in my notes. So yes, Rebecca manages to persuade Gwen into going through with this wedding. So just as Ethan is about to call off the wedding, this also was not in the episode, but I pulled it from transcript. Just as he's about to call off the wedding, he says, I want to thank you all for coming out here today, and especially for your patience. Actually, we can act this out. Did I send this to you too?
You did, yes.
Okay, then you be Ethan and I'll be Gwen.
Okay. Well, there's Theresa and Sheridan in there also. Like, Sheridan has like one little line, and it starts out with Ethan and Theresa, and then Gwen comes in at the end.
Oh, you know what?
If that's the one you're talking
Theresa,
about.
Gwen's been gone for a long time, hasn't she? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. Let's do this. I'll be Theresa and Gwen, and you can. Sheridan's in here? Where's Sheridan? Oh, there she is. Okay. Oh, I guess Ethan has to talk to Sheridan. You know what?
Or we can just do the last two parts.
Yeah, let's just do the last two. So
Okay.
you be Ethan, I'll be Gwen. Ethan's just about to call off the wedding.
All right. I want to thank you all for coming out here today, especially for your patience. It means a lot to me to see so many of my friends and family here today, and I'm sure Gwen appreciates it too. But I'm afraid we've kept you waiting for
too long. I am so sorry for keeping you all waiting. Ethan and I had just a little misunderstanding, but it's all cleared up now, and I am ready to marry the man of my dreams. No one, and I mean no one, is ever going to come between us again. Father Lonigan, you have a wedding to perform. Oh boy, so she marries him. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't have, but I have far more self-respect and self-esteem than Gwen ever has had in this show. So yeah, they get married. I think I have a clip here for this. Let me look.
And if there is anyone here who can show reason why this marriage should not take place, let them speak now or forever hold their peace.
Everybody looks at Theresa. Oh my God.
One word. I'll jump. Oh, I do hope those are tears of joy, dear.
Good. Now, Ethan, will you take this woman, Gwen, to be your lawfully wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? And will you love her, and comfort her, and honor her and keep her, forsaking all others, and keep yourself only unto her for as long as you both shall live? I will.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Poor Theresa. She tried it all. Didn't work. All right.
He took forever to answer.
they's married now. He did take a while to answer, but I do think it was just for dramatic effect, for passions. You know, it wasn't necessarily
Yes.
part
We
of
had to
his
see everyone's
character.
face.
Yeah. Oh my God. When Father Lonigan says if anybody has any objection, and literally the entire congregation looks directly at Theresa. She shouldn't have been there. She should not have been there. She should not have been there. But, and honestly, if she really was like okay with this, she would have made the mature decision not to go. Right? You know what I mean? If she really had accepted it, but was because what she's been saying to Ethan is like, I'm not happy about it. Of course, I still love you. I wish you were marrying me, but I've accepted your decision. If that was the truth, this would be too hard for her to show up to, right? She would have stayed home, but no, that's clearly not the truth. So
she wouldn't put herself through that torture.
Yeah, so they're married. Ethan and Gwen have gotten married, and we are moving into a new arc of this storyline. Oh, so anything to add to that before we move on?
Rebecca and Ivy's catty lines are always really fun, and they have a note. It's kind of back at the seascape when Antonio has just collapsed, and Rebecca's like, "Ooh, do you think he needs any help? Maybe his shirt needs to come off." And Ivy and her are just so giddy.
They are. They're so funny. They are so funny. All right, so that's it for part 1. We're gonna move on. But before we do that, I want to say goodbye. Oh, Lord Jesus, I'm struggling. Okay. All right, so that's it for part 1 of this week's episodes. I think that the name of this episode is either you can lie to God, but you can't lie to me, or you can lie to me, but you can't lie to God, Sheridan. I just love that. Or Antonio isn't breathing. Antonio's not breathing, though. Or toe tag time for Antonio. That was another one. That
that was a good one.
Really liked. Yeah. So this is it for part 1 of whatever the name of this episode is. So if you would like to find me, you can find me on the Patreon, patreon.com/passionspodcast, and sign up for whatever tier you find most agreeable. I'm on the Discord, but you have to join the Patreon to be on the Discord. Shane, where can the people find you?
I'm trying to grow my TikTok, so find me at Shane Lee Miller 11. I'm also on the Discord. I finally changed my name to Shane, so you guys know who I am on there.
Okay. All right. And with that, you are my passion for life.